Hey everyone, this is Dr. Dwain Woode. Welcome to our new series, Strength, Strategy, and Mindset. This is our new series that we are kicking off that continues on the heels of our previous series, which was our 100-day walk to consistency. That's right, that was a jumping off point. That was a springboard for what we are doing now. If you also saw our mini series, The Bridge to Mastery, you know that as we became masters of the walking process, it wasn't that we had reached a journey, we had reached a destination, but we were really ready, we were prepared. And that's what mastery really is. It is the preparation for the continuation of your successful journey. And here, in this series, Strength, Strategy, and Mindset, what we're doing is we're building on the heels of that, and we are going far beyond what we ever thought possible. We have within us unlimited potential, limitless living. Remember that? It says that there's nothing that's outside of us or nothing that's inside of us that we will allow to prevent us from doing the things that we need to do to be successful. We are presenting our best selves, our best health, and the best plans for our lives. We are going, we are moving, and we are going to be successful. As you know, many people don't succeed not because they don't have drive, not because they don't have vision, not even because they don't have motivation. They don't succeed because they don't have strategy. And here we are providing a strategy, we're providing a form, we're providing a space where you can just plug in and you can be successful. So as we go through each of the episodes, as we go through the next 100 days, we're going to be talking about strength. What are those things that you can do to strengthen yourself? You see that we're here. I've got some weights that are next to me. We've got some kettlebells. We'll bring in some bands that we can use. We've got our bench. We're going to be doing lots of different things to show you those things that you can do to make your body strong. And as we go through that process, we'll be talking about some strategies. What are the key components of the things that we do? And we'll be talking about mindset. What is that key thing that you need to get as you are changing your thought process? That is this series that we're on. I'm glad that you're here. The next thing I want to say to you is that you have already succeeded. If you are here, if you're watching this video, if you are listening to us, if you are engaged, you've already shown that you have what it takes to be successful by putting yourself first, by deciding that every day you're going to put another piece of the puzzle in place to continue to grow and to continue to expand. So let's go ahead, let's get started as we engage with strength, strategy, and mindset. All right, so we are here, day number 1. And we want to talk today about the first rep, showing up for yourself. And today we're going to be talking about several things. Our strength thought for today is that we are going to be doing some things or something that will help our core, that will help our body to become strong. We're going to be doing some air squats. We'll talk about different ways of doing that, different variations of that. Our strategy for today is the power of small, consistent actions. The power of small, consistent action. And of course, the mindset that we want to get. And if you don't get anything else, what I want you to get is that the first rep is the hardest. As we get through this, you'll see the first rep is the hardest, but it changes everything. If you can get through the first rep, if you can break through that inertia, if you can break through that thing that says, no, we're not going to do this, then you will find that you will be successful. So that's our outline for today. We're going to go ahead and we're going to start by talking about an air squat. And a squat is simply a process of lowering your body down, and we'll talk about how it's going to be done. And the key idea behind this is that this will help to strengthen your legs muscles, your leg muscles. It will help to loosen up your hips. It will engage your core, which we'll talk about in another episode. But all of those things together are the basis of what we're going to do. So before we get into our strength concept for today, we want to prepare. And so we're going to prepare with several ways what we're going to do. And we're not going to be engaging much of our upper body in this episode, but we're going to do that anyway because we want to get used to, we're going to get into the process, get into the habit of getting our entire body ready. This includes our mind and includes everything. And so the first thing we want to do is we're going to do some arms, right? So some twirls. And basically what you're doing is I've got my arms to my side and I'm just twirling, and I'm going to turn so you can see from the side, right? And so this is not, I'm not trying to twirl my arms off, right? So just kind of doing that, and we're becoming loose. And we're going to do that 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so that gets our shoulders, gets our arms, and depending on how fast you were doing that, you can begin to see some of the other muscles also getting loose, right? So getting that ready. And usually we'll do about 15 seconds between each of these. When we do our reps, we'll also do 15 seconds of downtime or break between each rep, and we'll talk more about that as we get into it. So the next thing we want to do is we want to do some marching, right? So in place marching. And so this is this is actually a fun one, right? So many of us have done this. We did it when we were kids. Sometimes I think we forget how we do it, but this is what it is. And so basically, and you can do this lots of different ways, but the version that we're going to do, basically we have our arms up like this, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to lift our legs as high as possible, right? Now you can do a modified version of this if you're not able to do this, and we're just going to do this for about 1 minute. If you're not able to do this without holding on to something, that's fine. You can modify it, and I'm going to move back just a little bit so you can see. And you can do this by holding on to a wall, right? And you are lifting, trying to lift those thighs, those knees actually, as high as possible. The higher you lift them, the better they are. If a wall is not available, you can actually get a chair. And I don't have one right here. I was going to try to do my workbench here, my exercise bench. But basically, you're trying to lift those as much as possible. I like this version because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to lift my knees to touch my elbows, which they're almost there. Okay? All right, so we've got that. We've got that there, okay? Another thing, we'll kind of give 15 second break, 15 to 20 seconds sometimes, but this is 15, is what's called a crossbody leg swing. Crossbody leg swing. And once again, I'm going to do the modified version. Well, I'm going to show you the regular version, then you can do the modified version. What I'm doing, and that will be our 15 seconds. So basically, I'm going to take one leg and center myself. One of the things that you will hear me say is engaging your core. So what that means is you want to slightly pull your belly button in a little bit. And what that does is it tightens up this area. And so you want to engage your core to make sure that your feet are flat and shoulder width apart. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one leg and I'm going to swing it over to one side, hold it and bring it back. And the goal is to continue doing this without having to put your feet down, your legs down, okay? So that is a crossbody leg swing. So we'll do that, okay? I'm going to do a modified version for those of you who may not be able to do that without holding on to something. So you can actually let me do this first. I'm going to raise this up because we'll be able to use that here in just a minute. But for this side, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold on to the wall and I'm going to go ahead and do this. right? And I'm going to do that 10 times. And notice I'm bringing my legs over, but I'm not touching the ground. 8, 9, and then 10, okay? And then for this side, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold on to my chair. And once again, I'm taking this leg and I'm just moving it across my body. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay? And so what that does is it loosens up my body, loosens up my hips. Okay? All right. So that's our warm up for today. And so let me go ahead and describe to you what the air squat is. I'm going to do it from the front first, and then I'll turn to the side so you can see what I'm doing. Basically, what we're doing is we are having our legs, our feet shoulder width apart, our toes are slightly pointed out. We're going to pretend like we're sitting in a chair, right? And we're going to go down, and the goal is, as I'm going down, I'm first going to push my bottom out, right? I'm going to keep my chest as straight as possible. I'm going to go down, 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 down until my thighs are parallel to the ground. And then I'm going to come back up. So let me go ahead and do that from the side. All right, so what I'm doing, once again, is bottom out, and I'm going to go down until my legs are parallel, and then come back up. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do 3 reps or 3 sets of 10 reps each. And this is the basic air squat that we're going to be doing. And so we're going to be doing that together. Remember, legs or feet shoulder width apart. And let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to go down, and that'll give us 1. And down, and 2. And down, and 3, and down, and 4. I'm going to turn down, 5. And we're pushing through our heels as we come back up. 7, 8, 9, and 10. And so we're going to go ahead and we're going to walk that out a little bit. All right, let our body get back. That's our standard air squat, okay? And so we will do 3 reps or three sets of 10 reps. So that was 10, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So each time you go down, come back up, that'll be one rep, and then 10 reps in our set. So that was our first set of 10. So let's go ahead and let's do our next one. Remember, bottom, back, and we're going down, and let's go ahead and count it out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now you can also do this if you can't get down like that without assistance. You can actually use something to hold on to. You can either use a wall or you can use your chair. And I'm going to bring a chair on screen here for just a minute, because if you have trouble with that, you can actually use a chair and do that as your squat. So you're actually sitting into the chair and then getting back up. Sitting into the chair and getting back up. Sitting into the chair That's 3. And getting back up, sitting into the chair. That's 4. Back up, into the chair. 5. Up. 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Okay, so lots of different ways to do this. So each of the exercises that we do, you can actually do them in a modified way. Okay, so in that case, you can use a chair to do what you need to do. And we're going to take about 15, 20 seconds here between. And so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to do something what's called a tempo squat. And so one of the concepts that we're going to learn is that controlled tension is what builds strength. That that's a good one. So I want you to hear that. Controlled tension builds strength. There are a whole host of episodes that we will do that are engaged and with that idea. But remember that tension is that stretching. Tension is the movement from where you are, right? So think about a rubber band under tension. So what happens is the rubber band is here and you're pulling it away from itself, right? You're pulling outside of the comfort, pulling outside of where it starts. And so that tension, in order for us to grow, in order for us to get stronger, we've got to have tension. And it's not just willy-nilly tension. It is controlled tension. That is our thought process, our behavior, our bodies are controlled because we're directing all of the benefit of the tension, right, into growth, into getting stronger. Oh, that's this, man, there's so much there that we can talk about. So controlled tension gives strength. And so as you saw, when I was going down, right, I was very careful, very mindful of how I was doing this. The form that I was in, I kept saying bottom out, we're going down, legs parallel to the ground. We are coming back up, we're using our heels, right, to push ourselves up. All of that is the control. So when you're doing this, you're gonna make sure that you are having controlled tension. So in this case, we're gonna do what's called a tempo squat. And it's just like a squat, except we're gonna use this concept of control to bring additional tension and this additional strength, ultimately strength to our body. So as we're going down, right, in this case, we just kind of went down, right? And then we came back up. So what we're gonna do in this case, we're gonna do a 3 count. We're gonna go down in 3, 1, 2, 3, hold it for 3, 1, 2, 3, and come back in 3, 1, 2, 3, right? So let's do that together. Let's do 1. So going down is 1, 2, 3, hold it, 1, 2, 3, and come back up, 1, 2, 3, right? So we are putting a count. We're putting control to that squat as we do it. So that was 1. We're going to do 10 of these. This one we're actually going to just do 10 because we're going to do 3 counts in each of those. We're going to do a set of 10 going down, holding for 3, coming back over 3. So let's go ahead and do that. So 1, 2, 3, hold it, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, coming back up. That's 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3, 1, 2, 3, hold it, 1, 2, 3, and come back up, 1, 2, 3. That's 4. Once again, 1, 2, 3, and you've got to kind of time this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Once again, if you can't do this without going, you got to use the chair. That's fine. Let's do going down 6. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, down. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, and then come up. 1, 2, 3. And then going back down. 1, 2, 3. Come back. Hold it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Right. 7. Going back down. We got 3 more. Come on, we can do this, right? 1, 2, 3. Hold it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's 8. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2, 3. Got it? Going down 9. 1, 2, 3. Hold it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then 1 more. This is number 10. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. See that? Okay? So control tension. Control tension. All right. So as we kind of cool down from that, let's talk a little bit. Right? And the idea that I want you to get is that as we're moving through anything, particularly this, the very idea that we sometimes have is that it takes a lot for us to see changes. And sometimes it does. Right? If you're trying to save $1 million, it's a dollar at a time. It's a $1 at a time to get to $1 million. Now you may save chunks at a time, $1,000, $10,000, $20,000 until you get to $1 million. But it still took small steps. And here, as we're talking about our bodies, and we're talking about getting stronger, you right now may have come into this and you've seen this. And as we did those squats, even as we did some of the warm-up exercises, you said, I can't do that. That's too much for me. But you saw some of the modifications that I did as we went through the exercises. The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to simply show up. And the goal is to be consistent, because the power of the first rep, the power of the very first step, when we start lifting weights, the power of the very first one that you do, the first rep, the first time, the first thing that you do in that exercise, in that particular strength idea, that particular strength exercise that we're doing, it is the small, consistent things that you do. It's getting that first one in. Small, consistent behavior, small, consistent tension, small, consistent activities are what are successful. You're not going to see a benefit the very first one. In fact, when you do the first one, when you do the first rep, when you do the first day, the second day when you do it, your body is going to be sore. Your legs are going to be sore. As we start lifting weights, your muscles are going to be sore. But it's the first one. Getting through the first one is key. And growth happens under tension. Growth happens under controlled tension. Growth happens when there is stretch and when we are controlling what's happening. Because we have all the things that are happening. When we get, I'm jumping ahead. When we get to lifting some weights, one of the things that we learn is this idea of recruitment. And growth happens when there's recruitment. Growth happens when there is tension. Growth happens when we stay in the work. Because the first day, that first rep, that first time, that first place that you go, the first idea that you get, the next day, the idea is there, but it may be fleeting. It may not be solidified. It may not be totally formed. Your mind is still processing it, but the very first rep starts it. And then consistency continues it. But understand that there has to be some tension. As we're going through this, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel it in the muscles. And you're going to think to yourself that, oh my goodness, what's happening? What's going on there? But remember, it's the stretch, it's the tension that causes us to be able to grow. And then the hardest rep is that first one. Because once you've done that, you've shown that you can do it. Once you've done it, you've proven that it's possible. Once you've done it, you've added some data. Once you've done it, you've created a point in time. Once you've done it, you've added a brick to your consistency. You've added a brick to your I can journal. I can do 1 rep. And after 1 rep, we get 2 reps and 3 reps and 4 reps and 5 reps and 6 reps. So showing up, not perfection, is what we want to do. And today you showed up. Today you said yes to yourself. Today you said, this is what I'm going to do. Today you said that I'm creating some data for myself. Today you said I'm interested in my strength. Today I'm interested in the strategy. And today I understand that that first rep is where I need to be. The first rep shows up for myself. The first rep is where I say yes. The first rep is what happens when I create a new version of myself. When I've mastered those concepts and now I'm expanding into the future. So as we cool down, a couple of things I want you to get into the habit of doing is breathing. When we are stressed, when we are anxious, when we are unsure, we tend to hold our breath. I want you to notice next time you get angry, next time a high intense emotion happens, what's going to happen? You almost find yourself holding your breath. But I want you to begin breathing, right? You want to begin breathing. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And so what we're going to do is we're going to use our hands, and I want you to put your hands on your stomach, right? And so when you breathe in through the nose, your stomach should expand, should come out, and then when you breathe out, it should go in. And what we're going to do is we're going to breathe in for 5 seconds. We're going to hold it for 5 seconds, and we're going to breathe out for 5 seconds. We're going to do that 5 or 6 times, right? So let me demonstrate that to you. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be tapping on my stomach to count off 5, right? So breathing in, hold it, and breathe out. Let's do it again. That's 2. In. That's 3. In. That's 4. One more time. In. And that's 5. So begin learning how to breathe. And as you do that, I want you to begin noticing. And right now we're counting it out. So it may feel a little awkward. But as you get to do that, as you learn how to do that, as you become more proficient, remember that first rep, as you become better at doing this, you will find that you can do that more easily without the tapping, of course. Right? So in for 5, in through your nose, hold it for 5 seconds, and then breathe out through your mouth for 5 seconds. Hey, I'm so excited for this series because this series built on our last series. If you've not done so yet, go back and watch that series, 100-Day Walk to Consistency and Health. And then our mini series, which was the Bridge to Mastery, which got you ready for this series that we're in. And now we are on day number 1. Day number 2 is coming up as we continue moving in that direction. Remember, we are living limitless lives. And our limitless living says that we're not allowing anything in us or anything outside of us to prevent us from doing what we need to do. We are presenting our best self, our best health, and our best plans for our lives. We're breaking through the constraints. We're breaking past those boundaries. We're no longer content to be in this space. We have a growth mindset that says that my potential is unlimited. And all I've got to do is I've got to be consistent. I've got to believe in myself, and I've got to work on the strength. I've got to work on strategy, and I've got to work on mindset. Thank you for joining me. This is Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. Here I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health in your life, avoid complications, and go to the next level. And we are creating the life we've always wanted. Thank you for joining me today. Join me for tomorrow on day number 2 of Strength, Strategy, and Mindset.